You're watching the Bloomberg Law Bankruptcy Review. I'm Lee Pacchia. I'm joined now, as always, by Bloomberg News bankruptcy columnist Bill Rochelle. Be sure to check out his daily bankruptcy column, available on BloombergLaw.com. It's also on the Bloomberg Terminal. Bill, this week just got really busy, really fast. We have a new case in the system. It's a broker-dealer, and people are talking about this being another instance of fraud in the futures and broker-dealer space, I should say. There's $200 million missing. Is this MF Global all over again? In the MF Global case, everyone was blocked from suing for fraud by the so-called safe harbor provision. Is that how it's going to play out in this case as well? The case is Peregrine, by the way.
It very well may. You know, Peregrine is, hate to say it, is small potatoes compared to MF Global. MF Global, we got a $1.6 billion hole. Starting off with Peregrine, the CFTC says it's about $200 million plus in missing customer funds. And by the way, the emerging story right now is that it all happened because, allegedly, the chief officer at Peregrine just flat-footed forged bank statements and passed it along to the regulators, showing that he had $200 million more in the bank account for customer funds.
Well, that sounds
really
like a factual distinction from MF Global, certainly.
Well, yeah, in MF Global, the right hand may not have known what the left was doing, but there was a loss nonetheless. With Peregrine, we have some dual proceedings right now, which are really interesting. The ball got started first on the 10th of July with a receivership action in federal district court. And the district judge appointed a receiver and froze the assets, just what you're supposed to do. By the end of the day, the company itself filed a Chapter 7 liquidating bankruptcy. It couldn't file Chapter 11 because brokers are prohibited. If you look at the MF Global and the especially the Madoff cases, a lot of lawsuits that have been attempted to be brought by the trustees in those cases have been blocked by what's called the safe harbor under bankruptcy law, where you can't go and claw back money that was paid out in connection with a securities transaction or a swap or a million other things. However, that does not apply in a receivership. Ergo, I'm wondering if what's going to happen here is that we have the bankruptcy defer to the receivership so that the receiver is not going to face the safe harbor and will have a better shot at recovering money for customers. There is another factor here that is important when compared with Madoff and MF Global, for that matter, and that is Peregrine Financial is a futures commission merchant. And as such, its customers are not, repeat, not covered by the Securities Investor Protection Corp or the $500,000 per claim that SIPC can pay if there is a shortfall in customer property at the firm. So therefore, the customers, the futures customers of Peregrine, are going naked into this bankruptcy or receivership or whatever it is, because there is not going to be SIPC coverage here. At least that's the way it looks to me right now, as the facts are developing in the early days of this case.
Messy stuff. And Bill, of course, speaking of fraud, we were talking about that earlier today, at least as it results or as it pertains to the municipal bankruptcy cases that are on our radar. We have 3 cases now in California of cities in bankruptcy, and we also have Jefferson County, Alabama. Talk to us a little bit about that. Why did fraud come up in your coverage of what recently happened in Jefferson County, and now San Bernardino filed a Chapter 9 case out in California?
Well, here's what I'm thinking about. In both of these cases, you have financial distress, that is to say Jefferson County and San Bernardino, not just because of, tough times. With Jefferson County, people have actually been convicted of felonies in connection with bribery and other things of that sort, having to do with these $3 billion of sewer bonds. And in San Bernardino, the stories are saying that the city government has simply been lying to the people in the city for years now about the city's financial condition. Now, Chapter 9 bankruptcy is like a comfortable warm bath for a municipality, largely because neither the creditors nor the bankruptcy court have much power to shove the city around, or the county, as the case may be. Basically, at the end of the day, the only thing a bankruptcy judge can do if the judge is dissatisfied is to just up and throw them the heck out of bankruptcy court, dismiss the case. In both of these cases, one could see a situation where there isn't much activity after, let's say, a year, 18 months or something or other like that. The politicians can hide behind Chapter 9. They can say, oh, it's in the bankruptcy court right now. It's beyond my control. We have to work out a plan with the creditors. If we can't, we're just going to stay here in bankruptcy until hell freezes over. That's where a bankruptcy judge might come in and say, well, wait just a minute. You're using bankruptcy to avoid making difficult political decisions. You created this problem in the first place by your mismanagement. You fix the problem, and if you don't fix the problem, I'm going to throw you out of bankruptcy court, and there you will be forced to face the political issues that are involved and fix it on a political level. So I'm wondering, with these burgeoning bankruptcies in California and perhaps elsewhere, if we're going to see a pattern after a while where the bankruptcy judges let the cases drag on for a year, 18 months, and then throw them out of bankruptcy court on the notion that otherwise you're not going to get the politicians to face the problems that they created in the first place.
Messy stuff. Bill, thanks for that. That's Bloomberg News bankruptcy columnist Bill Rochelle. If you'd like to learn more about the cases and issues we just discussed, be sure to check out our offerings on BloombergLaw.com and also on the Bloomberg Terminal. You can follow our updates on Twitter and see more of our videos on YouTube. I'm Pacchia. Thanks for watching.